Today, I'm going to talk about the unexpected social consequences, positive and negative, of the Fitbit and other wearable fitness trackers, including the Apple Watch, and their associated apps. Fitbits have been around for about 15 years, but in 2014, the company began offering mobile apps that synced with the devices. The apps let the users log their fitness data over time and share that data with others. The idea was that sharing this data would help people reach their fitness goals. But this has led to some unexpected consequences. I'm going to look at three categories: personal data sharing, map routes, and the use of these devices in the workplace. In addition to the original Fitbit app, there are other apps that have come along to offer new services based on shared data, like Strava, a fitness social network. However, these app developers weren't thinking about potential negative consequences. In her book, Design for Safety, Eva Penzimug describes numerous ways the app designers failed to take potential abuse into account. This is about to get very dark. Here's a very brief excerpt from the book. Strava had a feature called Flyby that allowed you to, quote, see athletes who were nearby and where you crossed paths. They also had something called Group Activities, which was designed to show you people whose workouts had some kind of overlap with yours. Flyby and Group Activities were enabled by default. In her book, Penzimug describes numerous cases where apps like this enabled stalking, domestic violence, and murder. She points out that abusers can find their victims much more easily via apps that assume the user consents to location sharing. Let's look at fitness apps in the workplace. Since Fitbits, Apple Watches, and other fitness tracking devices like this are designed to be worn like a watch rather than as specialty workout gear, people wear them everywhere, and some employers would like to take advantage of that. Most of the employers' ideas are based on two junk science concepts: step counting and BMI. Now, it's not bad for employers to be thinking about their workers' well-being, but things get very weird very quickly. So, some offices are installing treadmill desks. That seems okay, maybe, as long as no one is required to use them. But if people have to click through a liability waiver to use them, are they forfeiting potential workers' comp benefits if they get hurt on the treadmill? Insurance discounts are supposed to be an incentive to stay healthy, but opting out of them forces the employee to decide whether to disclose things like disability, pregnancy, chronic conditions, and safety concerns. Do you want to tell your employer that your ex is a stalker and that's why you'd rather not get a discount? This CEO's proposed health bonus is based on a team of people collectively lowering their BMI, which isn't really possible unless everyone has an eating disorder. Let's talk about maps. Specifically, let's talk about the maps users create when they wear fitness devices everywhere they go and let the apps collect that data. Here, a city planner from Oregon had the idea that the app she was using recreationally could generate some real research data for her work. Strava made a new product just for city planners and researchers. Now, these agencies don't have to fund their own research projects. They can just use the data that's already being collected by the app users. Some great things could come out of this: better roads and cycling lanes, more people choosing to ride bikes, less traffic and pollution from cars, fewer accidents. This all sounds pretty great as long as the individual's privacy isn't compromised. But wait, it's not just individuals that are compromised when Strava's data leaks. Several countries' secret military installations have been compromised because soldiers, using the app for their jogging routines, have accidentally created heat maps outlining their secret postings. And to be clear, the military encouraged active duty personnel to wear Fitbits. So this intersection of workplace health incentives and location mapping has created some much bigger problems than anyone anticipated. Recently, a security company demonstrated that it could trace and identify nearly 200 CIA and NSA personnel by getting their location data from brokers and tracing their comings and goings from those agencies' headquarters. I don't think that anyone at Apple, Fitbit, Strava, or any other Silicon Valley company set out to sabotage the country's military and spy agencies, but here we are. The ripple effects are complex. There are some great things that could come out of these apps, like better data about cycling routes in cities, But there are a lot of really negative personal consequences, like app-assisted domestic violence and employer intrusions into your health. And then there are really big picture consequences, like compromising states. I wish all app developers were required to read Eva Penzey-Moog's book, and I hope that governments around the world start putting some more safeguards in place around data sharing and personal privacy.